Hello, my name is Ethan, and today I'm going to be going over what I studied in November. So October was a really big month. I managed to study over 100 hours, and that was always going to be a tough feat to match. And I didn't manage to do that, but I did manage to do 43 hours and 16 minutes, which isn't an amazing amount, but I think the big takeaway from this month was I stayed consistent. I did study every single day, and that did vary, and being a bit busier than usual, didn't quite manage to get close to the 100, but I'm not ultimately disappointed. I think it's coming to the acceptance that not every month is going to be amazing. Not every month you're going to have this amazing wild breakthrough. But if this can kind of be my floor, where 100 hours is my ceiling, I'm not too disappointed. If it means it's going to be somewhere between those two, most months, I'm happy with that. My most studied resource this month was Link for 14 hours and 5 minutes. And this month I had wanted to focus a lot more on reading rather than listening, which I did last month. And in that respect, mission accomplished. I did intend to solely read study hacker articles, which are native level articles aimed at native speakers. And yeah, that was my aim, but I did end up using the NHK Web Easy articles instead, which are they're articles that are typically aimed at kind of school children in Japan. So still technically aimed at natives, but not adults. And the big reasoning for this is probably counterintuitive for exam prep. I think it probably I would have been better served studying the study hacker articles. But for my long-term improvement, I think I do need to just build up my fundamentals when it comes to reading. I need to improve my reading speed and fluency, and also vocabulary. I feel that if I had gone straight to the study hacker articles, it would have made me feel better, but in reality, it would have kind of been trying to run before I can walk. I definitely need to reinforce my fundamentals, so that was kind of the reasoning behind it. After the fact, I'm glad I did do that. I feel as though my reading speed has improved, and my general kind of comprehension speed has improved. A lot of the time when I'm reading, I tend to have to read something twice to fully get it, and I'm still doing that just for as a precaution. But I'm finding I'm getting it first time round a lot more times than not. So yeah, I'm feeling as though my reading's improving. So I'm glad I made that decision. Next up is Sticky Study for 11 hours and 15 minutes, and these are vocabulary flashcards. I think they're really good because they do come with multiple example sentences, and at the beginning of the month, I felt as though it was going really well. I was doing it regularly, and I felt as though I was retaining. But when it got to later on in the month, when I was doing reviews, my retention was nowhere near as good as I thought it was. So I'm going to kind of have to go back to the drawing board on this one. I'm not sure if this is really working for me at the moment. In theory, this should be really, really good. But I think a big thing is because I don't enjoy it that much, I'm not doing it as much as I should. And therefore, because it is a spaced repetition system, it does rely on regularity and consistency. And because I'm not quite doing that, I'm not really reaping the benefits. So as my second most studied resource, I'd hope it'd be more effective, but it wasn't really. So yeah, gonna have to rethink this one. Next up is podcasts for 8 hours and 47 minutes. And I still enjoyed this, but I think I need to broaden out a bit more and listen to a few new different podcasts because I got a little bit bored, to be honest. But overall, I do want to maintain the balance between listening and reading. So going forward, I tend to get into the habit of really enjoying reading or really enjoying listening. So if I can try and strike the balance, because both of them ultimately I need to improve, and I don't want to have a huge disparity between those two levels. So I need to find something that I'm motivated to listen to on a regular basis. And yeah, that's kind of something to look forward to and experiment with going forward. Next up is YouTube in Japanese for 3 hours and 48 minutes, and this has been a lot of fun. It's kind of like replacing what I would usually listen to in English, but with just the Japanese kind of counterparts. And this is primarily it's primarily been camera review videos, cameras, lenses, all that kind of stuff, because that's what I'm really interested in. And it's been a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. Some of them I can listen to quite comfortably, and that's been quite rewarding and reassuring. But others, they just speak super fast, and I have had to use Japanese subtitles. So I think long term, I definitely want to get to the point where I just don't need subtitles at all. But I think in terms of acquiring vocabulary, and especially because there is a lot of technical terminology, because it's talking about machinery and all that kind of stuff, like camera sensors and dynamic range, and all these kind of specific jargon. I think it's useful at the moment to be using the subtitles, but long term, move away from that and really kind of force myself to push my listening level. So good for the moment, but food for thought. On to JLPT 24/7 for 2 hours and 8 minutes. This is a website that actually uses and uploads the past papers for JLPT. The Japan Foundation don't actually officially release papers, so I'm guessing these are leaked from somewhere. But it's really good because you can see the previous papers, and for most of them you can actually do the basically emulate the test online, which is great. I didn't use this that much because, to be honest, it wasn't all that fun, but it's definitely useful for prep. So last month I recommended Migi as a way of doing the tests, which I still think is better for kind of emulating the test in terms of it's got the timer built in, it marks you automatically, so that's really good. But in terms of looking back at past papers to get a accurate idea of what they're like, this, to be honest, can't be beat because it is what it is. So good resource, definitely check it out if you're taking JLPT in the future, just to give yourself an idea of what to expect. Next is Migi for 1 hour and 30 minutes. And this was basically just a past paper. And to be honest, it went reasonably well. I did get a passing mark, just about. So in that sense, it's reassuring. But I definitely didn't do as much as I wanted to with this resource. Retrospectively, I should have done more. But again, just as like with JLPT 24/7, it just wasn't particularly fun. And in that respect, I definitely need to find a balance between that as well. I need to get a balance between what's fun and what's effective. I think I'm leaning more towards the fun aspect of it and what I enjoy, and sometimes neglect the more effective study methods. So I need to, again, something to think about in the future. But for now, I'm trying to just maintain motivation and maintain momentum. So in that, like with that, fun makes more sense. But yeah, I need to think about it. Next up is YouTube lessons for 1 hour and 2 minutes. And this I just didn't do enough of. These are quite effective. It's a really effective way of kind of condensing more traditional textbook study into a short video. And it was mainly kind of JLPT grammar summaries. So it was good for what it is, but yeah, I just didn't do enough. And I might come back to bite me when it comes to exam day. And lastly is Anki sentences for 1 hour. These sentences are from the Intermediate Dictionary of Japanese Grammar, and it's all the sentences compiled from the book. And my aim for this month was to actually finish all the sentences, so basically cover the entire grammar dictionary. Very early on to the month, I thought this was going to be possible, but I lagged behind, wasn't consistent, and it got to the point where, because I knew I wouldn't finish it, I thought I might as well cut my losses and focus more on reading and listening. So I don't know if that was a good decision or not, but I think it's because because of the exam coming up, everything feels as though it's kind of, everything's centered around that deadline. So I think I need to kind of pace myself a bit more when it comes to this kind of resource. Not give myself 4 weeks, give myself 6 weeks, but give myself something like a matter of months, and just take that pressure off really and enjoy it a bit more. and be a bit more realistic, to be honest. So I will use this resource in the future, but in terms of the last 4 weeks, it just didn't seem like a priority. So overall thoughts, not the most exciting month in terms of improvement, but I did stay consistent. I did study every day, so I have to take the positives away from that, and hopefully, once the exam's done in a couple of days, I will feel a big pressure off and a weight off my shoulders. So maybe I can do things I enjoy a bit more, and I don't have to center around JLPT so much. But fingers crossed for the exam, which is on the 3rd. And yeah, see you soon for my December goals video. And yeah, bye for now.